Under the knife. I stared at the x-ray in silent dismay, feeling trepidation plunged in my gut. You see, the indifferent doctor says, pointing to the cursed image. You have fatty tissue in your spinal cord. My mouth goes dry. I cannot speak. My mother asks the question I'm too afraid to. So what do we do to correct this? Even before he speaks, I know the answer he'll give. The answer I dread. It's going to need surgery to get better. Without treatment, side effects will get worse. Surgery. My head starts to spin. I cannot breathe. I'm having a panic attack. No! The word lunges out of my throat like a possessed person. The doctor looks at me like I am mad. Mother looks at me with understanding and sympathy. Stefano, mother's boyfriend, looks like he gets it, but he still thinks I'm being unreasonable. I don't care. I will not have another surgery. I refuse. I can't go through that again. Oblivious to my panic, the doctor goes on and on. What would happen with the surgery? What would happen if I did not have the surgery? Possible side effects of the surgery. By this point, Stefano senses my impending flip-out and declares that is enough. He bids the astonished doctor a good day, escorts me out of the room and towards the car. I have a lot to think about, he says, but I don't have to decide today. What he doesn't realize is that I do not want to decide. Ever. This isn't the first time I've faced this scenario. In fact, I've had to face the scene about 3 times. First, surgery on my left ankle, then on my left leg, then on both my thighs. Though in those instances, his mother took care of all the details and decisions. All I had to do was show up and place my short, broken body under the knife. But I knew what would follow. Pain, terror, and the choking stench of disinfectant. I've had to wear casts twice in the past, and I still see the spinning saw in my nightmares. No matter how many times the doctors try and show me that the saw is too blunt to hurt me, I picture that blade slicing through skin and tissue, cutting bone, causing blood to gush out of my leg like a macabre fountain. I loathe getting my leg braces, the plastic contraptions that help me walk, for the same reason. Then there is the pain after surgery. And the worst part is I'm allergic to morphine. It makes me violently ill, so I can't even take any narcotics to dull the pain. I have to deal with muscle relaxant ibuprofen, which doesn't do squat. And if that's not bad enough, then staying in a hospital overnight is murder. Crisp, sterile hospitals with their bright whites and smooth surfaces feel surreal, almost artificial. You can never get any sleep because the nurse is always coming in and out every few minutes to check vitals. At least during all those times I had mother to turn to. She stayed with me the whole time. She never abandoned me, calmed me, and made sure I knew I wasn't alone. But now I'm too old for that kind of hand-holding. I have to face this on my own. A week later, I still don't want to think of the damn surgery. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Stefano is getting irritated with my behavior. You can't just ignore this and hope it goes away, he tells me repeatedly. You need to make this decision yourself. You can't keep putting it off. Watch me. I'll put it off as long as possible. Just don't want to have to deal with this kind of hell. Speaking of hell, Ginny's home, and I wince as she closes our door with a deafening slam. My relationship with my sister, Ginny, is complicated. She's always been confrontational with her own family, but lately she's been removing herself more and more from us. She refuses to take dinner at home. She leaves first thing in the morning and doesn't return until just before curfew. She hates all of us. She hates Mother for never being home while growing up. She hates Stefano for being male, and she hates me for being alive. 'Cause see, the old man taught her, as a way to control her, that I am the source of all her problems, and once I am gone, so will her problems. And so she's been known to physically abuse me in the past, threatening to kill me, trying to get me to kill myself. I tend to avoid her, so like I said, complicated. She's been out hanging with friends all day instead of looking for a job like she promised Mother. She orders me not to leave the room, and after a short confrontation, I do. I go into the living room and sit down on Grammy's old lazy boy to think. It's a large, pale brown chair with a heavy one handle to kick the leg rest up. The right arm is broken and sags drastically. I run my fingers along the arm rest and memories of my childhood surface. I sigh, feeling relaxed for the first time all day. But the calm doesn't last long. I grimace. I really can't avoid the problem. I know that. But I want to. Why do I have to keep digging around with stuff? Why is it whenever one thing goes right, my body decides to betray me again? I just got the all clear from Dr. Schwab that I don't have to go to physical therapy anymore as long as I agree to do exercise at home. I really don't want to go back to PT. Just then Stefano walks into the room and sits down on the couch, pulls out a cigarette and lights it. Watch the trail of acidic smoke float up to the ceiling and inhale a deep breath, drawing the scent into my nose. I Think of all the shit we've had to deal with the past few years, and now for the first time, wondered why he hasn't walked away. First the divorce, then the abuse coming to light. Dealing with our PTSD, depression, Ginny's bipolar disorder, taking Ginny back and forth to hospitals, health scares, deaths, the list goes on. Most people would have walked away by this point. No need to deal with a family that's not yours, that has so many messed up problems. But he stayed, and has helped this family pick up the pieces again and again, showing us things about ourselves we never noticed before. Though he claims we did all the work, it was really him helping us to reach a place where we could come to terms with our flaws and how they can be improved. Like now, for example. We spend hours going through the surgery. Points out that my fears are a tad bit irrational. He quite clearly points out my habit of avoiding tough situations and reminds me I can't continue to do so forever. And I'll admit, to most people, my fears are irrational. If I had a nickel for every time someone tried to tell me doctors are there to help people, being foolish/rude for disliking them, I'd probably have enough money to buy the Chrysler building. But most don't understand how long I've had to deal with them, or in what forms. Ever since I was 2, I've been going from doctor to doctor trying to figure out what's wrong with me and how to fix it. I've seen doctors look at me in every way from patronizing to useless to brainless. I had to listen to them talk about me as if I'm a broken object, like a car in need of repair instead of a person. I've been put on this drug and that drug to try and counteract the symptoms of my disability. I've spent more nights in hospital in a few years than most have in their entire lives. When I was a child, I used to spend every Christmas in the hospital due to pneumonia. And after so many surgeries, I've begun to associate hospitals with doctors with knives, cutting skin, and unbearable pain. Don't get me started on the smell of hospitals. Really don't. Just thinking about it's making me sick. A month or so passed. Between conversations with Mother and Stefano, I've agreed to have one more talk with the doctor. Mother suggested I write down all the questions I had for him. I know I can't keep running from this. All I'm doing is hurting myself. The symptoms are getting worse, and I want it to stop. At the same time this is going on, Janie has been in and out of hospitals a few times, started drinking again, refused to see or speak to us, and still refuses to get a job. Folks are getting fed up with her behavior. They try reaching out to her, and all she does is lash out. We arrive at Children's Hospital, and I feel a sick sense of terror, panic, claustrophobia fill my gut. All I want to do is beg Mother to take me home, but that wouldn't be very mature now, would it? So instead I follow my loved ones into the butcher's den, trying to pretend not to have a panic attack. No one needs to know how creeped out I am. The appointment goes well. I've agreed to go through with the surgery. And then a few weeks after my 17th birthday, I went in to get the fatty tissue in my spinal cord removed. I'm starving because I can't eat or drink 24 hours before the surgery. Perhaps that's a good thing, because if I had anything in my system right now, I'm sure it would come right back up. I'm so nervous and scared. I don't want to deal with this, but I know I have to. On top of that, my folks tell me that they plan to take away my sister's keys until she's willing to pay rent. So I have to deal with that explosion when I get back home. When we arrive, the nurse checks my vitals, measures and weighs me, and then hooks me up into a hospital bed. Sheets are thin and crisp. The cold from the metal makes me shudder. And the smell of disinfectant makes my stomach heave. Yep, it's a good thing I didn't have anything to eat this morning. Now they're giving me something to go to sleep. I don't want to sleep. I worry that I'll never wake up. Worse, the damn substance only works halfway, and I'm stuck in a state where I can hear and feel everything that's happening to me. I can't move or cry out. Images of doctors slicing into my body flash through my mind, peeling back skin, cracking bones, and letting blood drain into basins and splash onto the floor. Doctors are laughing at my pain. I fight the anesthesia for all I'm worth, but it doesn't help. I lose the battle and slowly slide into unconsciousness. When I wake up, I have to fight against the anesthesia. I know I dreamed, but for the life of me, I can't remember what. Mother's there, sitting in a chair next to my bed. Stefano, she explains, already in the room. I'll see him when I get out of recovery. He takes my hand and assures me I did an amazing job. I was so brave. She's proud of me. I don't feel brave. I feel weak, scared, and everything hurts. Later, I'm taken to my room, and Mother and Stefano stay with me all night. The next night, they leave me to deal with things by myself. The place gives me the creeps, and every time I nod, a nurse wakes me up to check on vitals. I get no sleep all night. The next day, my folks come in to see how I am doing, and I ask how the conversation with Jenny went. The answer? Not good. Not good at all. Apparently my sister didn't take too kindly to having her keys taken. She threw a fit and said if they wanted to kick her out, they should just go ahead and do so instead of bullshitting her. They tried to tell her that they didn't want her to go, and they were just trying to teach her responsibility, but she would have none of it. And declared that this is some kind of cruel and unusual punishment, that they were attacking her, that she hated all of us, and that she hoped we all died. And that she was leaving because, and I quote, she could take a hint. Apparently not, because Mother and Stefano repeatedly told her that they weren't kicking her out. They told her over and over that she had a place to stay. She refused, and she left. According to Stefano, he was angry she hadn't asked how I was doing. But I was neither shocked nor offended by that. Jenny never cared how it was, and saw my surgeries as a cry for attention. But so it wasn't surprising that she didn't ask in the heat of the moment.